I was a 4-time loser before I realized I was in the wrong game.
This was the face of crime.
2 decades in and out of jail.
So you did a little time.
Yes, like 15 years. Anybody can change.
My dad gave him another chance.
That changed everything for me. And I just started seeing myself as being able to do whatever I wanted to do.
He is not a killer. The bread is killer good, but his was a drug problem, right?
No murder on the rap sheet. The bread killer, the man, he's a sweetheart.
Dave's Killer Bread.
Willamette Wheat called it the best bread in Portland.
Just say no, it's bread on drugs.
Dave is the next big thing.
Do you like Dave's Killer Bread?
So many things to see, and I could be anything. But if I can't be free, then it's
Dave's Killer Bread made a killing. $40 million this year alone.
Just couldn't hardly be any better.
In 2005, we had roughly 30-something employees. Over the next 6 years, we grew into now having over 250 employees and making 2,700 loaves of bread per hour, nearly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I believe in accountability, tough love. It's the way I look at people coming out of prison. They have to be eager to learn. They have to be humble. What are people doing with their lives? I've learned to accept that opportunity and make the most of it. Good seeds aren't just cute little flax seeds with halos. We really can make the world a better place. One loaf of bread at a time.
Life after prison for many former inmates is anything but a cakewalk. Sure, they have their freedom back, but they also face a host of challenges as they assimilate back into society. The most widely known obstacles to reentry are employment and housing discrimination. But many former prisoners can also face roadblocks in the areas of public assistance and food stamps, voting, adoptive and foster parenting, and driver's licenses. There are many ex-felons whose only wish is to be given another chance. A chance to get a good education, a chance to work, a chance to have their voting rights restored, and a chance to learn a skill. A chance to get another opportunity. Success stories like Dave Dahl and Mike Massey inspire others to never give up and forge ahead. Their inspirational stories of hard work and persistence make the transition easier for others. But the road is anything but easy. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence and determination. And hardship often prepares an ordinary person for an extraordinary destiny. In America, ex-felons carry the stigma of being convicted for life. A conviction is like the metaphorical scarlet letter. When people see you, they see your conviction because many folks in America will never let you forget that you committed a crime. Today, we are beginning to witness a paradigm shift in how ex-felons are treated. Today, ex-felons are visible in every facet of life. America and Americans are becoming more tolerant of ex-felons in sports, media, education, military, and areas in which felons benefit organizations. There are many nationally known companies who make it a practice to hire ex-offenders. One of these companies, Embassy Suites, strongly believes in second chances and has hired many ex-offenders in different aspects of their business. Automotive repair shops such as AMCO are always on the lookout for hardworking employees with mechanical knowledge and a willingness to do manual labor and hard work. Many retail outlets such as Target, Walmart, Kmart, Walgreens, and Toys R Us are willing to hire felons for specific jobs. Most of the major cell phone carriers, including Verizon, AT&T, US Cellular, and Sprint, hire felons. Today, when it's more important than ever to strengthen our workforce, rejuvenate communities, and ensure that taxpayer dollars are being spent wisely, improving prisoner reentry remains critically important. On October 1st, 2012, Attorney General Eric Holder announced a $58 million Second Chance Act grant to reduce recidivism, provide reentry services, conduct research, and evaluate the impact of reentry programs. Both former Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels in 2012 and the current Indiana Governor Michael Pence in June 2013 signed into law Second Chance Act legislation to give those convicted of crime some relief from their criminal past. Today, the Insider Exclusive goes behind the headlines in Redemption, Journey from Prison to Success, Mike Massey's story. To meet Mike Massey, a success story in the making, and his lawyer, Richard Steagall, partner Nicoara and Steagall, to share Mike's powerful story of hope, friendship, strength, and perseverance. Mike's story is an amazing journey that is still evolving and inspire all those who look for meaning in the face of life's challenges and adversities. With the experienced help of Mike's lawyer, Richard Steagall is utilizing all Mike's legal remedies to get justice and the second chance that Mike so richly deserves. Richard has earned the highest respect from citizens and lawyers alike as one of the best trial lawyers in Peoria, in Illinois, and across the nation. He is driven to fight for people who deserve and need second chances. His goals, not only to get justice for his clients, but to make sure that everyone is treated with equal respect and dignity as guaranteed under the Constitution of the United States. He has built a substantial reputation by consistently winning cases other law firms have turned down. His amazing courtroom skills and headline-grabbing success rate continue to provide his clients with the results they need and the results they deserve. As Oscar Wilde once wrote, every saint has a past and every sinner a future. This is the Insider Exclusive, live from Peoria, Illinois. It is my great pleasure to introduce Rick Steagall to the show. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Thank you, Steve.
Tell our audience a little bit about your law firm. What type of law do you guys practice?
Plaintiffs' civil rights, employment discrimination, some railroaders we represent, and any basically complex litigation beyond the ordinary trial lawyer would handle.
So you represent the little guy?
Yeah.
Never
plaintiffs.
Corporations?
Very few, and if they are, they're small ones.
Why do you find that type of practice is something that you love?
I don't like to see people get shoved around.
Mm-hmm.
And you have much more control as opposed to the defense lawyer representing a large corporation.
Right. There are some large law firms and then there's some smaller law firms. Your law firm has, I think, 2 lawyers, correct?
2 partners and a young associate who's my nephew.
Why should folks look to a firm like your own to represent them in cases?
Because we have a very limited case level. Most firms have much more volume than I do. My cases are more complex. 70 to 80, that's when I brought my nephew in when he got out of law school to help me. And so each case, we think about them all the time.
Today we're here talking about Mike Massey's case. Tell our audience who Mike is and a little bit about his case.
Mike is had an armed robbery conviction when he was 22 years old. Served in Michigan City, Indiana, one of the tougher institutions in the nation. Came out and was tested, and he tested off the charts. He's an Indiana University grad, magna cum laude. He had a mandatory sentence, possession of marijuana and a firearm, that he served again in the feds, in the federal offense. He rehabilitated again, and he was a very successful mortgage loan originator.
Mm-hmm. So twice convicted, got out of prison, and has become a success story.
Yes.
Right? What's the problem?
After the financial crisis of 2008, Congress required mortgage loan originators who did not cause the mortgage problem that took us under, be licensed. There is a federal statute that has minimum standards. Mike passed it. His conviction for armed robbery in 1975 showed up, and he was approved by the National Registry.
And that's the National Mortgage Licensing System and Registry, right?
Yes.
So he's approved nationally by the federal government to be able to originate loans, correct?
Yes. And the state of Indiana statutes say that the Department of Financial Institutions is to process, to basically ensure that they've complied with the state exam.
Yeah. But he's not able to be a mortgage loan originator right now, is he? In the state of Indiana where he lives.
Right.
Why is that?
There is some lawyer in the bureaucracy of the Department of Financial Institutions who says that the department will overrule the National Registry.
Can they do that?
Not according to Indiana statutes.
So you have a administrative hearing coming up, is that right?
No, that's already been had, and we knew we were going to lose that in the department.
Because you were basically going to the same people that turned him down.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so you have a case in court.
Right, in the trial level court in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
And to overrule their decision.
Okay. And the issue, as you have stated, is what in front of the court?
Is the federal position, which is shared by every state, that only crimes of dishonesty can bar you from holding a license. Does Indiana have to follow that?
Mm-hmm.
Armed robbery is a crime of violence, not of holding a license. And for probably 400 years in the common law and the American law is that people should testify after 10 years unless there's some conviction that shows something that they have some reason to lie.
Yeah. Now, Mike is doing kind of odd jobs right now, pending the outcome of this case, correct?
Right. He's tried everything. He's selling burglar alarms. Difficult, very difficult for him.
And it's put him in financial dire straits.
Yes, after he'd been one of the most successful mortgage loan originators in his office, making $200,000.
So all he wants is a second chance, which the federal government says he can have, right?
Yes, and the Indiana law says he can have.
Yeah. In Indiana law, by the way, the governor, the previous governor and the current governor are pretty advanced, if you will, in terms of expunging records, right? They're trying to give ex-felons chances. What is that law that they have in Indiana?
Indiana second chance law.
Yeah, which a lot of states don't have.
No, they're a leader in that, and it was Governor Mitch Daniels that proposed it. Governor Pence has signed it, and he saw how many felons can't get jobs any place, barbers, virtually anything.
Yeah.
And he said, this is ridiculous.
Fortunately, we have Mike with us today, and we're going to bring him on right now. It is my great pleasure to introduce Mike Massey to the show. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you, Steve.
We're having this show today, we're producing this show because we believe, and I think you do too, that anybody who serves their time in prison for whatever mistake they did should be given a second chance. Don't you agree?
Yes.
In your particular case, you came out of prison.
Yes.
You went on to become a mortgage loan originator, right?
Yes, sir.
And you became very successful.
Very, yes.
How successful were you?
2004, I made $200,000 a year.
Okay.
Almost 220.
And you did that for approximately how many years?
3 years.
3 years. And then the loan crisis, the mortgage-backed securities crisis happened, and Dodd-Frank came around, new regulations, and you passed these new regulations, these licensing requirements,
Passed
correct?
all the tests, yes.
Yeah, and you live in the state of Indiana, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you no longer can be a mortgage loan originator right now.
Only at a bank, FDIC bank.
Only at a loan, only at a bank.
Yes, sir.
In-house.
In-house. You can be a mortgage loan originator at an outside organization?
No.
You can't. But you can be at an FDIC insured
I'm approved
bank.
by the feds, yes.
So Rick, Mike can be a loan originator at a bank, federally insured bank, correct?
Yes.
But not at other institutions.
Right.
What, we talked about this a little bit. What is the legal issue here? The federal government's approving him, but the state of Indiana isn't.
Right, as an independent mortgage loan originator. The problem is because he doesn't have a license as an independent, no bank, even though they can, no bank will hire him.
I'm just kind of curious, have there been any other cases similar to Mike's that have been denied by the state of Indiana too?
No.
He's the only case.
Right. He's an extraordinary story.
Yeah, let's talk about your extraordinary story, all right? What is prison like? You've spent almost 10 years there, right?
Prison is a lot of boredom, coupled with moments of intense violence. I've been in race riots. I've done things you don't want to hear about, just to protect myself.
Right. While you were in prison, what did you do to rehabilitate yourself? You went to school, correct?
No, I didn't go to school.
You went to school afterwards?
Afterwards. I graduated #1 in my class from IU.
Okay. What did you do in prison? Did you read a lot?
Read books, played pinochle, and worked crossword puzzles.
By the way, IU, the abbreviation is Indiana University.
Right.
Bloomington.
What do you find the biggest challenges for recently released inmates in reintegrating into society?
They don't have any role models.
How about yourself?
You can't do it. I would be afraid to put myself out there. I've been asked to go speak to them, to tell them how I did it, because I've done it twice.
Yes.
But America is not willing, a lot of America is not willing to accept you with that conviction. It's still got that stigma. Whereas it's mostly white America. Black America is fine. They don't have any problem with it, but it's just, you put your name out there, and when people find out I've been to Michigan City and USP Terre Haute, it scares them to death. It scares cops to death.
Right. What kind of problems do recently released inmates encounter?
Lack of patience, anger, just a rage, and you want a staged event. I've been there, and lack of resources.
Sure. What advice do you give people who are getting out of jail and want to go straight, turn their life around?
You got to be very patient. Take your time. It's baby steps. That's how I've done it both times.
So it can be done. You just have to be patient, correct?
Well, you got to swallow your pride.
Yeah.
I got a GPA that's as high as an astronaut's eye, but I was a janitor, a third shift janitor when I got out of federal prison.
Right, and I read that you took the bus or something like that for an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, each way. How long did you do that?
I did it for, I worked there after I got out, and then when I got off halfway house, I stayed there for another year because we were supposed to be on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And I was waiting, and then 9/11 happened, and everything went upside down.
Right.
But I lived in Section 8 housing.
You did what you had to do.
Yeah.
And when you were a successful mortgage loan originator, did you feel like you're on top of the world now?
I always was wondering when someone was going to take it away. Because I was doing everything right. I did good loans. I got the highest customer satisfaction award ever.
Yeah.
At 4.95, it's unheard of. And I had referrals. I had a business set up. And now with the DFI, they've almost driven me into bankruptcy.
And he also reported
mortgage fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a whistleblower.
Yeah, I reported I'm the one that wrote the letter that closed Ameriquest down.
Yeah. And I told him when he did that, he says, "You're going to lose your job." He said, "Well, I should, I guess."
You did the right thing.
I had to.
Okay, we're on national TV. What do you have to say to the Indiana authorities that are preventing you from getting a license? What do you want to say to them?
Get a real lawyer. Read the law. The guy that Mr. Schrader says he's a lawyer, if he's a lawyer, I'm an astrophysicist. Because there's no way armed robbery is a crime of dishonesty. They say it's false premises, money laundering, ID theft, check kiting.
Right.
I've never done anything like that.
Right.
All my crimes are what you call macho crimes.
Right. And for our audience who are looking to try and reintegrate back into society, what is the best bit of advice you can give them right now?
It's different. If you're black, it's one way. If you're white, it's another way. I'm very fortunate. I've got the complexion for the connection. It's much harder on a black person.
But they do have a chance. They just have to work at it.
Yeah, you have to take your time.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for sharing your story on this show.
Okay.
And we wish you success in this case is coming up. Rick, recently we saw Attorney General Holder come out, and he is advocating that we do away with the minimum mandatory sentencing guidelines, correct?
Yes.
I have read articles, and I'm sure you have too, that the United States has more incarcerated individuals per capita than any other country, industrialized country in the world, right?
Yes.
We're spending a tremendous amount of money, and it's not really doing that good, is it?
Oh, it's destroyed the black community totally.
What is your philosophy on treating felons once they've served their time? What is your philosophy in ensuring that society can benefit, or that they also can integrate back into society and society benefits from it?
Well, you have to let them work.
Yeah.
And to the highest of their ability.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have a period to show they can be trusted, but they don't have a chance.
Right.
And when I would visit Mike Massey at the federal prison in Pekin, when I represented him for medical care, we were Mike, myself, and the guards were the only white people in the visiting room. Mm-hmm. They're all minorities, so it's just destroyed the black community.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that with the broadcast of this show, that more people become aware that people ought to be given second chances, like many states are doing right now, and you are advocating for Mike. I want to thank you very much for being on our show.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for joining us. You can get more information about our guest and the issues at insiderexclusive.com.